Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings, bringing you an up-close and personal look at some of the people who are making music happen these days for us and for the worldwide followers of the Voice of America. And today, we are joined by a 23-year-old singer-songwriter whose career is just getting started. Aviella Winder is with us today. We'd like to welcome Aviella to the show. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. Now, you just told me you're in your bedroom studio.
I sure am. So I've been in California now for around 10 years. So this has been my same exact studio. I've done over 50 collaborations on songs with DJs, and almost every single one of them was recorded right here, including my own originals. So
literally, you can roll out of bed and go to work. Literally.
I sure can, yes.
Wow. And I can tell, you're very music enthusiastic, I guess I would say. You got guitars hanging on the wall. You said those were your dad's?
So this one is, I have a little bit of a guitar collection. I think I have around 10 to 12 guitars right now. So I had my dad put these little hooks up on my wall so that I can display them. This is my newest one over here. Mm-hmm. It actually is kind of like holographic. So if you move it in a certain lighting, it turns purple, and then it turns like blue in the other lighting, kind of like this butterfly sort of.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 10, and I just like to display them. It's really fun.
What took you to the guitar? Why did you decide you wanted to pick up a guitar?
I really wanted to make covers. So my dad had a YouTube channel, which was just like our family YouTube name. And it's funny because the username is Aviella1, and it's a combination of my name and my middle sister's name. And I just was really into watching covers, and it's something that I really wanted to get into. So I picked up the guitar, I learned how to play it, and I would record covers and post them on YouTube. And that's basically where it all started, I feel like. So that was a great thing for me. And yeah, I think that the covers is what really started me getting into music and like social media. So yeah.
Are you a daddy's girl? Did daddy create that little neon light behind you with your name on it?
That I actually got as a gift, and I keep it on all the time. Like whenever I'm recording, it just really like sets the vibe.
Inspires you?
Yes.
But you are a daddy's girl, I would guess. Anyway.
I'm a both parents girl, 100%, because my family has done so much for me. And actually, I moved from upstate New York around 10 years ago, like I said. And my parents, I begged them to come here so that I could pursue my love of music, like as a career for my life. And they did it. They got up and left everything. I have 2 younger sisters. My parents, all of our family is in New York, and they left their jobs, and we moved cross country and started over. So I really appreciate the support from my family. It means everything to me.
Now, that is the ultimate sacrifice for a parent to make for their children. I mean, and it's quite common. Taylor Swift's family moved from their original location, and Ava Max, she grew up in Milwaukee, they moved, and it's very common for families to give up everything for their children. And so you were in Rochester, New York, which is not a music mecca. And it's very, very cold there. So I'm sure you appreciate the warmer weather in California.
Oh, yes.
And so you got a lot of inspiration, been writing a lot of songs, and the new EP is out as well.
Yes, I'm super excited about it. I signed to Dimmog a little over 6 months ago now. And after doing, like I said, over 50 collaborations with producers and DJs in the EDM space, I felt like it was time to kind of break off on my own and do my own thing. And instead of just being a featured artist, I started putting out original music on Steve Aoki's label. And Tell Me What You're Thinking, my last single, actually went #1. So it's been so much fun, and I'm really excited to see where all of this takes me.
Yeah, you have seemed to establish yourself very fast as a dance music artist, because your songs are doing well on the dance chart. So is that really the intention? Was that the groove? Do you want to be labeled a dance artist? Or I would imagine you're so much more than that, but I mean, that's where the success has come so far.
Well, it's actually been really cool because in my live performances, I've been able to incorporate keyboard and guitar, and that's something that I definitely want to keep putting into my live shows and even into my recordings. So I definitely like to pull those kinds of live elements in. I love dance music, obviously, but I'm also very open-minded as to wherever it leads me.
That's great. And the name Aviella, what is the origin of Aviella?
It's actually Hebrew.
Hebrew?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really funny because my parents, they found it in a baby book. So it's not even like they really researched like super hard into it or anything. And I'm the oldest of three. My middle sister's name is Shayla and my youngest sister's name is Audrielle. But with my name, Aviella, like there was really no super thought into it. And they never knew that I was going to like use that as my name for my music. So it worked out.
What does it mean in Hebrew?
It means my father is God.
Nice. I love it. I always said if I have another daughter, I'm going to call her Shayna. You know,
I love that. I love that. It's beautiful.
Shayna Punim, I know, you know.
Yes.
Yes, my name in Hebrew is Paltiel. So
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool.
we've got some things in common. Now, I wanted to know you're into fashion too. So I'm assuming you're sitting next to your clothes closet, and I'm going to ask you, can you slide the clothes closet open?
Oh, yes, I can.
I want to see the wardrobe of Aviella.
Okay, so you can't really see all of them. These are all of my like rave fashion coats. I work with a lot of rave clothing companies. So, I mean, there's not really too much in the closet, but I have like bins full of clothes just that I've collected and put together as outfits and stuff. And I'm really big into accessories too. So like this little belt right here didn't come with the dress, but I just like adding accessories and fun little details.
So you're a very creative girl. Now, are you thinking of your own fashion label? Is that something that you want to happen in the future, or has it already happened?
Not yet, but that would be amazing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know when we started off camera, you know, Felicia, the producer, was commenting on how lovely you look in the green dress that you have on right now. And you look absolutely lovely. And I would love to hear some music too. I mean, so you're going to do a song for us to start us off?
Yeah, so I have a couple songs that I prepared for you guys. So the first one is called Ain't Too Late, and that song was my first solo release on Dimmock, and basically it's about following your dreams, and I mean that's something that's totally relatable to me, and I feel like a lot of people will be able to connect with as well.
All right, well, let's check it out. Here's Aviella Winder on Voice of America. This is Border Crossings.
I got a lot of things to say, a lot of opinions. Some might be scared, a little afraid, and intimidated, but I don't care. I got no time to hesitate, chasing a million. I'm starting here. They say I'm too grown to dream this big. I call it foolish. I say I can't wait till they come see. Ain't too late. I'll be flying to the moon because I can and I want to. Ain't too late. I'll be writing my own rules because I can and I want to. Da 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 da. Making my own possibilities. I don't wait in the lane. No, may fall down, but I'm getting back up. Still a part of the game. They say I'm too grown to dream this big. I call it foolish. I say I can't wait till they come see. Ain't too late. I'll be flying to the moon because I can and I want to. Ain't too late. I'll be writing my own rules because I can and I want to. Da 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 da
Border Crossings, Aviella Winder's with us. And the name of that song again?
Ain't Too Late.
Ain't Too Late. And you write all your music yourself?
So a few of them I co-wrote. It's been a really cool process because originally I was writing everything all on my own. I mean, I started writing before I even knew how to write. So I have a songbook, and I get a lot of my ideas in the bathtub, and it's always been that way. So I'd say I probably started writing when I was around 7 or 8, and I was learning to write, and everything was spelled phonetically, and I have a songbook somewhere. I really should dig it up and find it. But I would call for my mom like across the house, and I'd be like, Mom, I have an idea and I need to write it down or I'm going to forget it. And I had this little tiny recorder, because I obviously didn't have a cell phone at that time. Like, that wasn't a thing. So I have this little recorder, and I still have it. It's somewhere like deep in my closet. And I would record all of my song ideas. So I put out like a first album when I was like 10. And they were all songs that I had written completely by myself. And I really enjoy the collaboration process. So a lot of my recent songs have been co-written, and I worked with a great songwriting school in Sweden, the #1 school actually. And we worked on Tell Me What You're Thinking, as well as my new song. And Ain't Too Late was also sent from there, and we worked on it together. And it's actually a really cool thing, because they were explaining the process behind the story of the song. And there was an older lady that they were talking to, like as a project. And I guess she was explaining to them like all about her life and things that she went through. And she said one of her big things was, you're never too old to do what you truly want to do with your life. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can always have the chance to start over and try a new thing. So that's where the inspiration of the song came from. And during COVID, all of my collaborations have been on Zoom. So it's not even like anything has been in person, but it's been a really cool and fun collaboration process.
Well, you managed to take something difficult and turn it into something positive and creative. And you reference being, that you weren't around and cell phones weren't the thing, and you make yourself sound old. You're only 23. So you are still very, very young. Now, what would the 23-year-old Aviella tell the 8-year-old Aviella, as the aspiring songwriter you were at that age? What advice would you give her?
Really exciting to me to be in this position right now and be putting out original music on such an awesome label and music that I really love. So I think if I was to talk to my 8-year-old self, I would say, obviously, keep going, because this is where I'm at now and there's still so much more to come. And I've never doubted myself ever. Like, music has been my passion and my dream ever since I could remember. And even my mom telling me stories of like being in the crib, I would never cry to get her attention. I'd be singing all the time. And she never really realized like anything was different. And her friends would come over and be like, is Aviella singing in her crib? Like, it wasn't a typical thing. And then as I got older, I obviously got into the music, and it's just never, ever been a doubt in my mind. Like, it's just what I'm meant to do.
And so why the bathtub? What is it about the bathtub that gives you more creativity to write music when you're taking a bath?
I really don't know. I mean, you've talked to a lot of people. Is that a thing?
No, you're the first one. Many people in the shower, many people in a dream. It comes to them and have to grab a notepad near the bed so they don't lose it. Some people in the airport use their voice message in their phone. Don't think I've heard of the bathtub yet.
Yeah, so the bathtub is definitely my thing. I don't know. I think just because it's such a zen space, and like I just have really nothing else going through my head, and it's very creative for me. So I think that's basically why they come to me in the bath.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
now you
funny.
need a microphone in the bathtub, so that you can further the. Maybe that's an album cover. You under the suds,
Yeah, that might be a cool thing.
If that's a true inspiration, you should kind of capitalize on that for yourself.
Yeah.
We're talking with Aviella Winder, who is right now in the midst of a very successful career. You got millions and millions of streams, which must feel pretty good. I mean, at this stage of your career, to all of a sudden have #1 songs on the dance chart and have the millions of streams that you've attracted. And it's, even though music's been your passion for a long time, this professional part of it is relatively new.
Yeah, it feels so surreal right now. And I just can't wait to see what new things are going to come.
And the EP is called Downtown Love. And so I'll assume that's a song on the EP. And why did you pick that song to be representative of the EP?
So I really like to put myself into the position of the characters that I'm writing about. And I think that this is something that people will really resonate with. And Downtown Love, basically, as a saying or a phrase, is like brushing past somebody and you're not really taking the time to create a deeper connection in a relationship with them. It's sort of a rush, fast-paced kind of relationship, and there's no real deep connection there. And that was something that I really wanted to write about. And obviously, I'm like an emotional person, and I really appreciate the connection between human beings. And writing Downtown Love is basically the idea that we all crave that deeper love and connection.
All right. What song are you going to sing for us next?
So this one is called Tell Me What You're Thinking, and it's my first song that ever made it to radio. First number one on Billboard. Just so crazy. It feels crazy to say that. So this song, Tell Me What You're Thinking, I worked on with the writers from the songwriting school in Sweden. And when they sent me the original idea and concept of the song, it was Don't Know What You're Thinking. And when I heard it, I was like, I'm a little bit more sassy than that. Like, I don't want it to be up in the air. Nobody really wants to be told, like, I don't know what you're thinking. It's like, gotta be, tell me what you're thinking. So I incorporated that in there, and that's what became the hook of the song.
All right. Well, we're going to check it out right now here on Border Crossings, Aviella Winder, and Tell Me What You're Thinking.
You make me feel alive. You make me lose control. The way you play it cool. For you I break all my rules. Higher from the sky I'm falling, burning through the atmosphere. Yeah, you light up everything surrounding. Like a comet you struck my world. Tell me what you're thinking. Am I overthinking this way too much? Maybe you're the reason I haven't given up. Tell me what you're thinking. I see it in your eyes. I know that I mean something to you. Why don't you realize we got something worth holding on to? Higher from the sky I'm falling, burning through the atmosphere. Yeah, you light up everything surrounding. Like a comet you struck my world. Tell me what you're thinking. Am I overthinking this way too much? Maybe you're the reason I haven't given up. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you, tell me what you. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you, tell me what you. Tell me what you're thinking.
That's Aviella Winder, and the very first big hit that you put out of a number of hits, but that's the first one that went up to number one. And so where were you when you heard that song on the radio for the first time? That's a memory that'll stick with you forever.
100%. I was in my driveway, in my car, with my whole family loaded in. We were all blasting it. I'm sure probably everyone on the street could have heard it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, congratulations to you. I mean, on all of the great success. Now, I have a question because I've been meaning to ask this. It seems like the trend in music right now is collaborations. That is a trend that, 5 years ago wasn't quite as popular as it is right now, but now everybody's working with somebody. And there's so many, Zed and Steve Aoki and DJ Snake, and the list goes on. And then you've got two artists together where you'd have Meghan Trainor and somebody else, Charlie Puth. You'd have Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce. You got everybody's collaborating. Why is this collaboration thing the hot thing right now in music?
I love that question. I think the whole process of collaboration is such a, it's something that really connects the artists. And I think working on that together and writing a song together, it's it's a really emotional process. I mean, and when you're in a songwriting session, you never really know what you're going to end up talking about unless there's some sort of a theme that you're going into it with. But I think being collaborative and working with other artists is just, it brings a new level of excitement to the song.
And have you done anything with Steve Aoki since it's his label?
Not yet, but hoping in the future.
Not a bad guy to collaborate with. He's had a lot of very successful songs. Who is on your wish list? Who, other than Steve, let's say, would be on, Aviella's dream list of collaborations?
I think it'd be so cool to work with Diplo. And then like writing wise, Taylor Swift is incredible. I've always been a huge fan. Justin Bieber, of course. And I know he kind of does that like borderline EDM sort of thing. So I think that would be a really cool collaboration also. Like a dream.
And who are you?
I love Post Malone too. I just have to
Post Malone. Yeah, he's amazing these days. And all these guys are doing great. So who would you, listen to these days? I mean, what's your playlist? Top 5 songs on Aviella's playlist?
Oh my gosh. Right now, I would say Hold On by Justin Bieber.
Well, you're a believer, aren't you?
I really am. It's funny because I was a fan of his, like from probably right when he was first starting. And I entered a contest to go see him live in New York City. And it was like you would post a cover of the song. So I got my guitar. I think I was like 11 or 12 at the time. And I learned One Time by Justin Bieber, his first song. It was the only one he had out at the time. And I actually won the contest. So I got to go and I got to meet him. And I used to I had a printed picture of him that I would bring to school with me, like in my backpack, and I'd show all my friends and they're like, who is that? I'm like, just wait, just wait.
Did you cry when you met him?
No, I didn't. I felt like he could have been my friend. Like it was a cool thing.
Well, that's good. I mean, I know Billie Eilish talks about being in love with him and crying for days and wanting to marry him and whatnot. So I didn't know if he had the same effect on you. Did you like the bad boy Justin Bieber or the more in control these days, but Justin Bieber?
I think just all along the way. I've always been a fan of the music.
Who else is on your list of your playlist?
Oh, let's see. Okay, I love Beck, so I definitely have his music up there.
So he's a great producer for our listeners. He did Roses, he reproduced that. He's a European producer, I believe.
Yeah, I love Tate McRae too. I know you talked to her recently.
Yes,
so cool. Yeah, I'd love to work with her. She's awesome. Let's see. Well, there's a few.
Of course. There's a lot of great music these days. Right now.
There really is.
I mean, the one thing that COVID has done, and it's done some positive things, it's done, obviously a lot of horrible things, and we hope to get this past us and move on forward. But for music, it's been pretty good because people don't have a whole lot other than music right now, and they're home and contained and can't go to many places. You can't see live music really, but there's still music is very much a part of our lives. And also as an artist, you can now do things on the internet and reach people outside of a venue that might be limited to 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 people. Now you're talking to millions on the internet.
Definitely. I started TikTok in the beginning of COVID. I haven't even had it for that long, and it's been a really cool creative outlet for me. So I enjoy TikTok.
Now you're going to start a dance craze, TikTok. That's where everybody's doing dance craze things.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd like to do a lot of creative little things. Like obviously I incorporate fashion and music and dancing.
All right. What are you going to play for us next?
So this one is actually Downtown Love. I hope that you all like it.
All right. Here's the title track to the new EP, Aviella Winder, and this is Downtown Love.
Busy city, flashing lights, lonely bodies passing by. They always tell us, don't get attached. We keep it simple, our hearts intact. Craving something deeper than the scratch on the surface. It's emotionally cheaper to not have a purpose. Oh, I've had enough of all this downtown love. It makes no sense at all. Funny how we think that love could grow in places feelings aren't involved. This downtown love, oh, I'm not a secret. all this time, craving something deeper than this scratch on the surface. It's emotionally cheaper to not have a purpose. Oh, I've had enough of all this downtown love. It makes no sense at all. Funny how we think that love could grow in places feelings aren't involved. This downtown love, oh. This downtown love, wow.
Downtown Love, Aviella Winder. And where'd you write that song? How'd that song come about to you?
Right here.
Oh, in the
this
bedroom. We're in the place where that song was born.
Yeah, a lot of my songs have been born here, right here in this little corner.
Right there in that room. Now, I noticed a lot of tattoos on your arm. What is the significance? What do they say?
Yeah, I have a bunch of tattoos.
Mhm.
So this butterfly, I mean, I could give you like a quick little tattoo tour. This
Yeah.
butterfly my dad drew. So all my tattoos have meanings to me. This love right here on my wrist, my mom wrote in a birthday card to me when I turned 16.
Wow.
These lotus flowers I got when I came back from my first tour, which was in Vietnam. It was the first time I was out of the country. So that was a really amazing experience for me, and I wanted to commemorate that. And then I have like this little half sleeve here, which wasn't even meant to be that, but it's just collected over the years. A wishbone and a lucky little ladybug right here. And of course I got like the music notes and the poppy. Now I'm in California, and I learned that the rose is the New York flower. So I have this rose right here. I think that this one right here is like a personal growth, and also I love to garden. So I have some rosemary and sweet peas in there, and then the flames all around are basically like this whole thing here is all things that I'm very passionate about.
See, we learn a lot about people through subtle things, and you wouldn't think to ask about tattoos, and now we know that Aviella likes gardening, which maybe
Yeah.
fans didn't know that before. So what do you call your fans? I like to ask artists, do you have a name for them?
I don't yet. So if you could think of one, I mean, now's the time. Aviellans? I don't know.
Aviellans, why not?
Hashtag Aviellans.
So plans for a full studio album tour. What's the next 6 months, 8 months going to be for Aviella Winder?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things that could happen. So, I mean, obviously in the already short amount of time that I've been signed, I've been able to put out all of this new music that I'm really excited about. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. Hopefully a tour when live music comes back. That's like my really big focus right now, I think.
Mhm. And you've been involved actively with some charities. I saw something with the military and another charity as well.
Yeah, actually volunteering has been a huge part of my whole entire life. When I was in New York, and I love telling this story, it's just so like it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So my great grandmother passed away when I was really young, and I couldn't really comprehend it. But when I got a little bit older, and I mean like a little bit older, I was probably like 8 years old, and I was reflecting on that experience and how it felt, and just wishing that I had an opportunity to really get close to her, but I was too young. And so I didn't really know her very well, but I had always heard amazing things about her. I learned oldies music, and I went into the nursing homes, and I thought, what better of a way to like honor her than to go and sing for all of the people in the nursing homes. So they would all come in and line up in their wheelchairs. And, a lot of times they weren't even really like paying attention, and their heads would be down. But as soon as they heard the music, it was like it breathed like a new life into them, and you could just see them all getting so into the music and singing along, and it was amazing. And it was just such a cool thing to experience, especially at such a young age. So I remember I made like a little postcard box, like a little mailbox, and I would write notes in like heart-shaped paper, and I would sing Mr. Postman, and I would go into the mailbox and take out the little cutout hearts, and I'd pass it out to everybody in my audience. So yeah, volunteering has been huge. And then when I learned how to play guitar, I put together a 30-minute to an hour long just me solo singing and guitar show, and I would perform all around upstate New York, and I would have my sisters run my merch booth where where I would like sign pictures, and I made bracelets, and I would donate a portion of the proceeds to the Soldiers Angels organization and many other organizations. And it's just that meant so much to me to be a part of those things.
And we broadcast to the soldiers, so they're watching you now and hearing you now, along with millions and millions of people in 100+ countries around the world as well.
Wow.
And so I'm going to put you on the spot again. You know, I'm going to take you back to when you were young and you were in that senior home. Can you sing a little a cappella of Mr. Postman? Do you remember that song? Can you imagine the young Aviella who was passing out those hearts?
Yeah, well, obviously it's like please, Mr. Postman, oh yeah. But there's also oh, you beautiful doll, you great big beautiful doll.
Wow. So there's a bit of an old soul in you too. You've got those classics, which is great.
Totally.
I think it's so important for young artists to know where music came from. You know, to know about the
yeah, and I grew up listening to a variety of different music, like obviously the oldies music that I would go through YouTube and I would pick all these different songs that I connected with. So those were a couple of them, but I also grew up listening to Metallica and Boyz II Men, and obviously those are very different, but yes. Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. So I have like a lot of genres.
Well, this is exciting. It's an exciting time. You got a great label, great support team. You're very bubbly, personable, beautiful young lady. And you're having great success right out of the box. So, you know, I'm very excited for you. And what do you think's been the highlight so far? I mean, in this journey that is just getting started.
So far, I would say the number one, because working my whole entire life to get to this point, like music has been my passion and my absolute everything for so long. So for me to finally be in the moment where I'm able to put out original music as Aviella and have that be heard by people and accepted and listened to, and for fans to write to me and say that they've connected with my music in some way or that it's helped them through a hard time, like every single day when these things happen to me, it just warms my heart so much.
And you mentioned that you had been in Vietnam. What about the rest of the world? Do you have international touring in the future coming up?
Hopefully in the future. I haven't been yet. That's why Vietnam was like the coolest thing ever. So I definitely enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to more.
Like? What were you surprised about most when you performed in Asia for the first time after coming from America, and there you are singing to a Vietnamese audience?
Well, first of all, it's very hot there and it's super humid. Like I remember taking like 3 showers a day because my hair would just be like a big poofy frizz. But the people were so kind and it was really cool. And I love learning about cultures. It's such a cool thing to me.
Well, you certainly picked a faraway place to go for your first international show.
I sure did.
That's on the other side of the world, literally.
I know. It was like an 18-hour flight or something crazy. So if I can do that.
If you can do that, you can go anywhere. Well, we're looking forward to the album when it comes out and having you in our studios when you come to DC. I'd love to have you do some live stuff in the studio and to meet you.
That'd be amazing.
Because
yeah,
you're very refreshing, very positive, and I'm sure you're a great role model for a lot of young ladies who want to become singers.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being on the show, Aviella Winder, and the name of the EP is Downtown Love. So please do pick up a copy of it. Is there anything you want to say to our audience internationally before we go?
You know what? I do. I saw you interview somebody and ask them what the best piece of advice was. And I was thinking about that, the best piece of advice they've gotten and who said it to them. And a saying came to my mind. And this is something that I'd like to pass on to all of you guys. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And there's a radio station in my hometown, and they used to say that on air all the time. So I think that that's a cool thing to pass on and something that's very important.
And it would look good on a t-shirt that you sell at your concerts.
Yeah.
Designed by Aviella Winder. Well, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
What's the websites where people can go and find out more and check in with you and all that stuff, social media sites?
Yeah, everything is Aviella Music on my socials. So Instagram, TikTok, and then you can just search Aviella on Google, whatever pulls up.
And as you can see behind her, it's spelled Aviella.
Yes.
All right. Aviella Music, Aviella Winder, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're watching Border Crossings. This is VOA TV. I'm Larry London.